The one beyond, it didn't come through them.
Good evening, everybody. Today is October 16th, 2025. This is the village board meeting for the Village of Willow Springs. The time is 7 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. Clerk Charles, can we please call the roll?
Trustee Ara,
Here.
Kennedy, Micah,
Here.
Pash, Sprinkle,
Here.
Carr, President Nedemeyer.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will move right into our agenda number 3, the previous minutes in our board pack. We have 2 sets of minutes. The first is September 11th, 2025, the public hearing minutes. May I have a motion to approve those?
Yes. Sorry.
We have the motion by trustee Carr, the second by trustee Sprinkle. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carr.
Second set of minutes, September 11, 2025, combined committee and board meeting minutes. May I have a motion? By trustee Carr,
Second.
by trustee Micah. Discussion or questions on these minutes? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carr.
That takes care of our minute and straight report.
No report this evening.
Thanks. Village clerk report.
Okay, yeah, I just have a couple of things. One is the trick or treating hours. They're gonna be from 3 to 7. We're also gonna have Wicked Willow at Lions Park on Friday, October 31st, from 5 to 7 o'clock. They're gonna have ponies, a petting zoo, hay rides, and a bonfire. So please come out and join us. Then also, the food pantry is gonna be Tuesday, October 21st, from 3:30 to 5:30. There will not be a food pantry in November, but we will have one, December 16th. And that concludes my report.
Report, village engineer.
Yes. Days of the trading program. Director program, functional by the other day. The town center restructuring program is nearing completion, however, there isn't any functional items that we rather. And that was the administrative branch director grant and the south and yesterday. We're coming with an action plan. We vote as soon as possible.
Thank you, engineer Branson. Village attorney,
There is no legal report this evening.
village treasurer.
I'll report to you.
Thank you. We'll move to reports of standing committees, finance and administration. Trustee Arthur.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 781, warrant number 25-0-10, dated October 9th, 2025, payroll and fund expenses totaling $690,594.22.
A motion for, thanks trustee Ara, is there a second?
Oh, second.
By trustee Micah, thank you. Discussion on this warrant?
Just an update that this warrant included 2 pay periods that account for about 40% of the total. They include most of the last payment for the school street sewer project, which we just discussed, and routine things like garbage and health insurance, and that account for 43%, and the rest of it is just routine minimal stuff.
Thank you. If there's no more discussion, let's do a roll call vote on the warrants list.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carr.
Okay, and the last thing is, part of the Veterans Commission, we've been working with the Beautification Commission, and there's gonna be an event on Saturday, November 8th. Here, and we had a new Veterans Memorial, and we'll have a dedication that time. We will have some speakers. And we'll be like food and refreshments to follow. So look forward to veterans and anybody else. That concludes my.
Thank you, trustee Ara. We will move now to municipal buildings and grounds committee, trustee Micah,
Thank you, Madam President. I have no report.
public works committee. Director Grantland, do you have anything for public work?
Leaf season has started. We will start this week and we'll continue until they're done.
License and franchise committee, trustee Smith. Okay, and finally, building and zoning committee, trustee Barth.
Thank you, Mayor. The month of September 2025, we do 36 persons. Backlog under 429,073 hours. Resulting in permitting costs of $14,110. And from January through September, we have issued 219 permits. Construction was a total of $6,675,529, resulting in fees to the village of $184,529. And that's all I have received.
Thank you. Okay, that disposes of the reports of the standing committee, so we're moving now into action items. The first action item we have is action to approve ordinance 2025-0-17. This is an ordinance amending Title 9B of the Village Code of Ordinances relating to land subdivision regulations and the impact of the. So we have that whole section here in our board pack for our review. I can give a highlight of some of the changes that are being proposed. And those are some minor changes to our plan exam fees. Those haven't been updated since '87. They're still reasonable as proposed and lower than a lot of our neighboring towns. So we would look to raise plan exam fees from $250 to $350 for 1 to 5 lots, and then for 6 lots and above from $275 to $400. So minor change there. Particularly, the majority of the changes focus on the portion of the code that talk about public land use and land that is being dedicated for public use when there is a development. So we have updates to our population density table to help calculate what portion of land is to be dedicated when there is a development. And then it defines the cash and lieu value, meaning that if there's not land, cash and lieu is an option. So that is clarified in this. And another thing that this revision does is it removes the school land dedication, which is complex to calculate and leaves the village bearing the burden of collecting and managing compliance risks. So that's being removed. The public safety and public transit impact fees remain unchanged. That is the brief overview of the action item. I will ask for a motion to approve ordinance 2025-0.
Okay.
By trustee Sprinkle,
Second that.
by trustee Micah. There are questions on this one, discussions from the board?
I think this is really appropriate at this time. We spent some time on the park board and always looked at the towns working with parks. In this case, we have our own park system. But I think it's important that we've updated this and really do like it. And benefit the LT properties. And it sounds like it's going to be happening in September 2026. So I think it's important that we get this on.
Anything else? Okay, roll call vote.
Trustee Ara, Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Har.
Next, we have closed session minutes. We have minutes of our closed session that took place on June 12th, 2025. Trying very hard to be prompt with releasing these, and it is appropriate now to do so. So may I ask for a motion to approve those minutes?
So
By trustee Micah, second by trustee Power. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Trustee Ara, Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Car.
So our next 4 items are resolutions 12 through 15. And since they are all related, I'll give a quick background on them and an explanation of what it is they're accomplishing. These are all resolutions related to TIP two. They are procedural first steps required if we would like to consider changing, updating, amending TIP two. Specifically, the first resolution has us establishing an parties registry, which just means that people can register with the village if they want to continue to receive communications and discussions as we need to, particularly residents in business. The second is a term sheet for the amendments to TIP agreement, a term sheet for the intergovernmental agreement is the third one, and finally, the last resolution would convene a joint review board, which is the Board of Tax and Amounts that would come together and give a recommendation on moving forward for the bill. So what I want to emphasize first is that there's no final decisions being made with relation to TIP two tonight. Just beginning this process of changes that could occur. No final action would occur until after a joint review board hearing and a TIP hearing as well. So why are we doing this? Why are we looking to consider changes to TIP two? TIP two, for background, encompasses the Willow Glen development as well as adjacent properties. And when it was set up as a 13-year TIP, which is rather unusual. Most TIPs by statute are 22 years. So one thing we're considering now is whether or not to extend it to the full 23 years to allow us to receive the full benefit. This comes with several unforeseen factors, such as negatively impacting timelines and financial performance due to COVID, due to supply chains and construction costs. That is one thing that we're considering, is extending it for the full 23 years. Another possible change being proposed is that we set a reimbursement of the taxes for the current property owner at $9.50 with a 30% escalator. And then clarifications to the IGA with D108 to add a true-up provision so that in the event that taxes are overpaid, we have a mechanism to correct it. Those are a highlight of the main changes that we would be looking at and considering going forward. But again, this is just for the new to procedurally with further steps and communications. And I want to clarify too what is not changing. What is not changing is that currently we have no general obligation bonds with this TIP, and that is something that's not changing. We're not looking to do that. And the percentage of distribution of the increment would not be being proposed to be changed. So that is currently 30% to the village, 30% to the developer, and 40% to district quality. That is an overview of these next resolutions before us. And with that background, we'll move to the first one. And I'll ask for consideration of 2025-R-12. That's the resolution authorizing the establishment of the TIF district's interested parties registry. May I have a motion?
So moved.
By
Second.
trustee Ara, second by trustee Micah. Questions or discussions on this one? If approved, we would post this notice that would give the public direction how to register to receive communication. Hearing no discussion, let's do a roll call vote on this one, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carl.
All ayes, and that resolution. So now we're moving to the next one, which is 2025-R-13. This is the resolution approving the term sheet and authorizing the preparation of an amendment to the redevelopment. May I have a motion to approve 2025-R-13?
Make the motion.
By trustee Sprinkle,
Second.
by trustee Carr. Questions on this one? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Carl.
All ayes, and that resolution is approved. The next one is 2025-R-14. And that's the resolution approving the term sheet authorizing the preparation of the amendment to the IGA, the intergovernmental. May I have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
By trustee Ara,
I second it.
by trustee Micah. Discussions or questions on this one?
This intergovernmental agreement is primarily dealing with District 108. So everybody's clear in the voting lines.
That's correct. Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Car.
And the last one is resolution 2025-R-15, which is the resolution between the review board and set the time and place for a public hearing regarding the proposed amendment to the redevelopment plan and project and TIP financing for the Village of Willow Springs TIP District Number 2. May I have a motion? By trustee Sprinkle, second by trustee Carr. Questions?
I think just letting everybody know the dates are interested. Joining the review board, we can use my right to third, car. And the public hearing is December 4th, 7 p.m. I understand that again.
Thank you. And notice will go out as required by statute. So we do have engaged with TIP attorney who has been guiding us through this as well. And also that TIP attorney would be available to be at future meetings to help answer any questions as we talk through this process further. Questions? Okay, we have the motion and the second for 15, and that concludes the discussion. So can we do a roll call, please?
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Sprinkle, Car.
And that's good. Thank you. That concludes the action items. Any old business that the board would like to discuss? New business that the board would like. Public comment.
Yes, I have a couple. I have Christopher and Judith Azarello. Can you please come up to the podium?
Good evening. My name is Chris Azarello. The Big Rope Triad. I am speaking to you all tonight with some relief from coyotes, mice, birds, and bugs which have invaded our backyard. My neighbor at 10938 Big Rope Drive has a chicken coop which is disturbing our peace and causing a major rodent infestation. For background, when the coop was first constructed, we thought it would be no problem. However, we were soon facing the consequences of a chicken coop in the neighbor's backyard. No fools. Public meeting. Okay. Ultimately, in the fall of 2023, the community service officer came, took a citation, and the coop was to be taken down. This isn't a small coop, it's roughly 6 feet. 6 feet high, 10 feet long, and 4 feet wide. However, as the months went on, the chickens were still there, so we were funding since the CSO had come out to citation. Ultimately, we read that the chicken coops were a gray area and were allowed to keep it. The following spring and continuing to today, we are continued to be surprised by many new nuisances. Now I'll give you an example. For instance, the mice infestation, which I alluded to earlier, has taken over our yard. Our shed has served as a close habitat to their year-long food supply of chicken feed. We've never had a mice problem in 30 years that my family has historically lived here. The chicken feed is thrown out in the yard, they're open range. The mice have eaten into our seat cushions and patio furniture, defecated on our belongings, burrowed holes into the shed floor. And just today, as I was putting our belongings away for the winter, I found a mice nest and its food for the year-long winter consisting of corn and very keep. Coyotes continually attracted to the smell of chickens, prowling at all hours. This is something we face on a weekly occurrence when we let the dog out. Our dog would be at the fence, the coyote would be on the other side. There have been way too many close calls for safety of our dog. We care about. And finally, the birds are continually hovering over the neighbor's yard, as I alluded to earlier. The feed thrown out in the air for free range. And they also defecate on our patio. Now, for full disclosure, I FOIA'd the previous administration hearings
administrative hearings about the chicken coop and building permits. So I can make a statement tonight. In doing so, I found out that the chicken coop was not issued an electrical permit. Despite heat lamp installations in the winter coming from strung together extension cords, which run from the back of the house through their yard to the chicken coop so that they are heated during winter. The chicken coop was initially cited for violation of village ordinance 4-6B-3, which was housing animals outdoors. Now, as you know, that code is usually if there's a dog left out in the field, it doesn't really apply here. So the ticket was thrown out on grounds that it wasn't a thing. However, when I read the village ordinance, there is an ordinance against chicken coops. Village ordinance 9A-1 says in an R1 district, which is our subdivision, uses explicitly prohibited, no person shall keep or maintain in an R1 district any livestock animals whose usual habitat is outside residence, including but not limited to horses, cattle, sheep, pigs, goats, and light. The light there is the key point. I've never heard of anyone keeping a chicken in their house. This ordinance should stand. All I'm asking for tonight is some relief. I understand that the village may choose to ignore the chicken coops where there are no problems. However, I respectfully ask you all tonight to uphold the existing ordinances to ensure the health and safety of the village's residents like myself. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Mary Lou Edwards.
I would just like to thank the mayor and Administrator Ryan for helping us across the finish line with the Civilian Conservation Corps $30 project. There's about $40,000 invested in that whole operation from the day it started 32 years ago. The cost of the statue, the cost of the signage, and the landscaping. Costs which were all borne by the Historical Society based on contributions from the community. So while it did take a long time, we did get to the finish line. I do have one other little bit, if perhaps you can help us. I've been told that you can't, but we shall see. I was wondering, or we were wondering, the Historical Society was wondering, knowing that Archer Avenue, we have no jurisdiction, I was my understanding over Archer Avenue, it's a state road or whatever. But it would be great if we could get some white stripes on the street, on the road, between Smas and the monument area. Just so trucks that are coming down Archer would have at least a bit of some kind of indication that there could possibly be people crossing there at that intersection. I don't expect there to be hordes of people or whatever, and that makes it even more so because, you know, they wouldn't be coming up on people on a regular basis, you know, the individual. So if there's any way, and I'm not sure, because as I said, that road, it's my understanding it's not ours to say to do what we will. If there's any way that we might, or anyone we might, request, make such a request, or if the village could make such a request, it would be even better. To see possibly get just white stripes on the street so that you know. That's it. Thank you very much for all your help.
Thank you.
It's been a long ordeal and it's been great having you there. We just saw the finish line.
Thank you. Thank you guys for your work on it. We will look into both public comments in this one accordingly. Thank you both. If there's any more public?
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay, then, we have a meeting for executive session. We'll conclude with president's report. As we know, when we've heard, October is Police Appreciation Month in Willow Springs. So I just want to use this opportunity during the president's report again to say thank you to our law enforcement officers They show up every day. Day in and day out to protect us. They show up with kindness, professionalism, and they do an excellent job and are very dedicated. So we are grateful for them. They all received these nice Yetis to show our appreciation. And Trustee Kennedy, who is the chairman of the safety committee, wanted me to also send his regards and thanks to our law enforcement during police appreciation. As always, our final meetings coming up, the rest of this year will be busy ones. You can expect to see the levy, you can expect to see budget, insurance renewals, and the calendar for next year's meetings. So looking forward to getting a lot of good stuff done in November and December. As Coach Charles mentioned, we have the Goodwill coming out, and as Trustee R mentioned, the Veterans Memorial Dedication on Saturday, November 8th. Will be events to look forward to. Our next meeting is on November 13th. And finally, a special birthday shout out to Trustee Sprinkle. We'll be celebrating a birthday on Sunday, so happy birthday to you.
One moment, yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I have, so I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Trustee
Second.
Sprinkle, second by Trustee Lightfoot. Thank you both. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Oppose? We are adjourned at 7:27. Thank you.
Yes.